Hi everyone, Anat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make 5 boys scrapbook page ideas with different techniques and different fun ways to document and capture your boys' stories. So first we're going to make a page with a theme. So you can create basically any theme that you want. I'm going to create a theme with time, how time passes, how I wish I could stop time. So for that, I'm going to need lots of embellishments and shapes that represent time. And for me, that's clock faces. So I'm starting with a page. I'm going to just cover it a little bit with some white paint, acrylic paint. You can do it with gesso just to mute the colors a little bit. You don't really have to do it, but if you have a page that you want to use and it's too busy, then this is a really good way to mute it and still see all the colors and patterns on the page, but they'll be a little bit muted. So you have a few ways to add patterns or shapes to a page. First, you can use stencils or masks. Now, a mask is the reverse of a stencil. So if the stencil is something, a pattern that you take out and then use colors, then a mask is the part that you took out and you create the color around it. Another way is to stamp. So I've used a large mask of clock, and now I'm stamping on the page, and I also add lots of gears because the inner parts of the clock is made out of a lot of gears and little metal parts. So I'm going to add lots of metal embellishments to complement my theme. I also have a cutout clock that I cut from a paper, and now I'm starting to add clusters of embellishments. And you see all the metal parts, the little clocks that I'm adding, the gears, the cogwheels, etc. And then you also want to add, of course, some text or a title. I'm also going to add some numbers because obviously clock has numbers on their faces. So that is also suitable here. And I'm also going to add a quote to my page about time. And then basically a title, of course, don't forget that. And then basically my page is ready. And you see that I didn't use a regular photo. I cut out my boy out of the photo. So it looks like he's sitting among all those clocks and cogwheels. I really like how this page turned out. So this is page number 1. Let's take a closer look. And for page number 2, we're going to create an interactive page. So I'm going to use this as a base for my page, and I'm going to basically create a wall. So there's the door on the page, and I'm going to create a wall by adding modeling paste and a brick stencil. So I'm going to add a little bit of a pattern, and then since it's too white for my taste, I want to match it to the color of the background of the paper. So I'm going to spray the page a little bit with some brown color and then add a little bit of brown distress ink. And this will create a better matching color. Now I have another paper with some windows on it, and I'm going to cut out the windows. And the windows are going to be the interactive part of my page. Now, if you're wondering how you're going to use interactive parts when your page is inside a page protector, then what I do, I simply, after inserting the page, I mark where the interactive part needs to move, and then I cut the page protector so it can move. So in this case, I'll be able to open and close my windows. So I've cut the shutters in the center and on the bottom and the top so they can open. And then on these windows, I cut the shutters in half, and I only apply tape on the edge. So again, they'll be able to open and close like this. Now I want to make a background for the windows because obviously there's a wall inside the house. So that is the background. And I'm going to attach photos, cutout photos of my kids standing on the bottom window and then sitting on the top two windows. And then the windows will be able to open and close, and then you'll see their photos. Isn't that cute? I think it's really cool. And it looks like the outer wall of a house. And then for final touches, I'm going to add a fence and some flowers, so it will really look like the front entrance of the house, the outside wall of a house. If you want, you can cut the door as well to open and close. So for our third scrapbook page ideas for boys, I'm going to create a background with some texture, some neutral texture, but I'm also going to show you how you can use leftover stickers. So if you want to create a page that is basically a general theme, you can create a background that corresponds with that idea. So for me, I want to use a photo of the two brothers and then add words that describe their relationship. So that's why I'm using lots of leftover stickers as background, because words obviously are made of letters. So all these letters are going to be the background for my page. So what I did is attach the letters to the page in different direction. Each letter has its direction, and then I'm going to cover it with gesso, with white gesso, and this will create a texture on my page because the letter stickers are slightly bulky and slightly have a 3D effect, so they're not completely flat. So I'm going to need 2 coats of gesso to cover the letters. Don't want them to completely disappear, but I do want them to be mostly white because I'm going to spray on top of the page. So now I'm spraying with a little bit of aqua, using a wet brush to spread the paint a little bit, and a little bit of brown. You can see it's very light. I don't want very dark colors. And I'm using the brush to spread it inside the letters. I'm attaching the photo with some foam tape. And then I'm going to add all kinds of words that I've written on just a piece of paper. Brothers and love and things like that that describe their relationship. So these words are going to create sort of a column in the center of the page. And also going to add a few hearts. And then to symbolize their bond even more, I'm going to add the title with a twine because they are connected with an invisible twine. So I'm simply spelling the letters with the glue that I apply on the page, and then I attach the twine to follow the glue. This way I'm creating letters with the twine. So I'm going to spell out the word words using a tweezers to help me with the twine. And then I'm going to add the rest of my title, and basically the page is done. So the words don't come easy, that's the title. I really like how this page turned out. So for our fourth boy scrapbook page idea, we're going to use color. We're going to create a beach page, and I'm going to show you how to create a page that has basically blue colors, different shades and hues of the same color. So when you want to create a page that is full of greens or blues or browns, this is the way to do it. So I have first added a little bit of texture with some wavy pattern stencil and some modeling paste, and now I'm adding some blue and green sprays because I want them all to mix on the page and create blue colors. And I'm using blue distress ink to add even more wavy patterns. Now to increase my wavy theme, I'm going to add a bandage. This is a regular bandage that you can get in your pharmacy. And this is going to go here. I'm going to attach it to the paper. It's going to give me extra dimension. And I'm also going to add some blue tissue papers and other papers to create a frame around my photo. So I'm just adding all the papers with the blue colors, adding a little bit of ink around, and then I can attach the photo to the page. Okay. Now I'm going to spray another piece of bandage, again with the same blue colors that I've used on the page. And you see it's very wet, so wait until it's dry. And I'm going to also add it to my page. Basically, I'm creating an ocean theme, and I'm going to add some letters and then some embellishments that will look like found treasures from a treasure island, and also some seashells, obviously, because it's a beach theme. So a few fake jewels and some seashells, a sea star, and I'm also going to add a little bit of circles that will look like bubbles, like the bubbles you see in the ocean. These are metal washers, so I'm going to add some blue paint with alcohol inks because I don't want them to be just metal color. And alcohol ink is a really good way to paint metal. Then I'll add all my embellishments to the page. Also a little bit of rope like you have on a ship or something. So they're all nautical theme embellishments to complement my beach, my watery page theme and colors. So this is another idea. And for our final idea, I'm going to show you how to create a page with multiple photos. So I get a lot of questions about that because sometimes it's really difficult to make a page with multiple photos. So basically what I'm going to do is create the background with some stamps and some sprays. And then I'm going to add the photos in a cluster and add some embellishments around them. So I'm starting with spraying the page. I want it to drip a little bit. And now I'm just adding little stamping with different patterns of stamps, and you can see that I'm not even using an acrylic block. I'm just using my hands and adding little spots of patterns here and there. Now I'm going to create the frame of the around, or a mat around the photos with some paper pieces, and then on that I'm going to add my photos. So the mat doesn't have to be one piece of paper, it can be layered papers. So I have 4 photos. This is my husband teaching my youngest son to ride a bicycle. So I'm clustering the photos together on the papers that I've added. And now all I need to do is add some embellishments around my photos. A little bit more papers to create a balance between the top and the bottom. Adding a little bit more color because the color was slightly covered. Using the sprays as almost as watercolor paint, just to add spots of color. And then I'm adding some more patterns with rub-ons. And to emphasize the writing theme, I'm using these photo corners as small arrows, and of course a bicycle embellishment. Basically a little bit of flowers. You can always add flowers even to boys' pages. They add texture, they add a fun feeling, they add vibrancy to the page, texture, and it won't look feminine at all. Adding a few words here and there, and of course the title, You and Me, and then the page is ready. So I really hope that you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything. And I hope you'll give these 5 ideas a try, and I hope you like them, and that you're still scrapbooking and making beautiful pages. So I want to thank everyone for joining me, and I will see you